Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, page 3. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Saviour having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts. To you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 15, The Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya triple gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Bhagawan was dwelling on Mass of Vultures Mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagawan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perfection. Also, at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara: How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment, in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as the truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Tayata gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisoha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagawan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagawan having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvatiputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagawan. Page 25. Page 27.
Chanjo bada dane jason che dage chejen kiwe sanan je dola benje sanje dobara danje jana zaji jana la chanjo bada dane jason dage chejen kiwe sanan je dola benje sanje dobara Kongata ze nye zame tawa da je bangwe chire tenpe shine ten zewe kodam de la je de la to nye nye je sun je be 다 끊어 곰 축시켜 나로 야 난다 나들이 디 코스니야 디네 수수 치워 수수 치워야 고 시험 맞세 수수당 저유니 수수를 이지유니 미드줄라야 네 펜도 치워도 같이 지기 삼제 뒤치 등에 네디 년기여 상급 좀 지기여 상꾸노야 고 제나스라
We'll start with motivation meditation, and please start this with a view to helping myself understand that process and to be able to die with the understanding of the process, and also to help other people understand this process. With a view to doing this, I will listen to the discourse.
다 가와 검티린 니럽존시디 겁배 겨상부 인상
So now arouse joy over the fact that you have this wonderful opportunity to study about the process.
다 좋아야지
Teodul. So any questions? Yes, there are 3 questions. Question number 1. Do we have consciousness in the Bardo? And second part, I have seen dead possums, cows, kangaroos with the blood drops at the nose or white discharge at the sex organ. Is that process the same for animals? 아니, 저번에 possum 당 바추 당 kangaroo 시바트로 통뉴스 나고젤 안에 차당 안에 왕부 따지기다 상주도 왕부 권으로봐. 되는 안에 지기다 틸르자바. 자장 치당 도당 중을 틈틈 찍으래. 삼진데 미 찍으래 배송도.
파도라 남시 요레스라. 파도 남시 요르데 파도 남시데 미 남시데 마레 페나 껴제마 칼링구이나 디단 라와디 디단 릭트 마레스라.
So there is a consciousness in Bardo or the world in between life and death, but it's not a human consciousness. But it's not a human consciousness. It's a consciousness that is akin to, somewhat akin to the consciousness of the next life form.
와다 베나 껴지마 미 껴레니 껴지마 하 껴레니나 아니 파도 남시디 디단 릭트마레서 다 껴지마 둔두도 지 포삼도 껴노이나 그 양디 디단 릭트마레서 디니 레직 펜바와 파도 디단 그 껴지마 디니 레직 펜바 인자 남시 더워지 요레서 이나 다랑시나 마르와고
So a consciousness which is going to be reborn as a god in the next life, then the consciousness of a person in the bardo and the future life as a god, they have this rigda, means similar type continuity. And if the consciousness unfortunately is going to take on possum life, then the consciousness of Bardo and the future consciousness as possum, they share the same continuum type.
레다 단다 디 포섬다도 다 먼저 녜지라와 녜네 진이 만찰라 디 용거 다 공지라 딘데 용거에 나면서 녜네 지와다 파죽다 따당 포섬다 미단다 제단도 녜지 그리도들라 단다 감가마디 용거여와 어디 다다 더버더다 도고여라 가서 나시 시드나군에 타드네도 더보다 지버레스라.
As an answer to the second question, any being, any sentient being that is born from whom, whether a cow, possum, human, dog, and so on, because they have the white and red drops of the parents, so the process is similar.
좋아하신다.
나도. Question regarding 80 primitive conceptions. And the tokunto gyachul trebe anichigata dewachu. Given that the 80 primitive conceptions are coarser mind than the 4 empties of white, red, black, near, black, and clay light. Jazan and nawa kalamba, cheba malamba, nyato nalamba, chewa vese la tete, and kunto gyachur some rakba yinzang rava. Yimbe kenkis. Then the first question. Do all of the 80 primitive conceptions dissolve at the fifth dissolution when appearance moves from dim flame into the white appearance? Kunto gyachudi jurun ngape kapsu and kasureta mame bawada mame talala mame bawata be nawane nawa kalambe kyo kapsu kunto gyachu chasang tingu yorabes. And the text mentions white appearance occurs after all 80 conceptions have already dissolved. Only imprints of them remain after that. And the chabinala any kasuruda kunto gyachurawa kichila. And the timbre ngaba kapsu kunto gyachu chasan timjene the koranju bachad hategor sangdusu.
어레데 딜라 난제 토숨기 콘도 군도 제주 가시야 야 난제 토숨다 님도 가시야 다 딘데기 흉수수 셰당 담면도 요레스로 다디 단다 저르무신기 중주 망번한테 송도
long
아니 유자다 주주 tinye 주조 다 제단 수수주라 조른 그 도고치 돼요. 조른 도고치 연데 네 라관냥아 팀나 군도 제주 팀바도 다다 연구요로. 연데 장가라 간선수 수수수 르기 두시당 아니 짜당 롱기 도당 미수수 먼저 미나 수수 자롱당 수고 차다 때때면라 요서로. 뒤에 장가라 가시 난지도 성을 군도 제주 가려야 가시 님도 가려야 아니 근데 다 연구요래 이거 인자 네 타직 등에는 연구를 다 제일 연구를세 이셔야 돼 타셔버스 연구요 말했어 다들 디즈릭도서 덕버째네 편도시라요 말해 네 냠랜디 제 제비나 스스나와 가르쳐와디 딱다 제멜레스 나는 아니 네 도샤웨나 야 그래 딱 하셔야 된들 제주로 쇼 제제 되기도 하디 티내가 싫어 말해 내가 상마디 다수수 제메 시글라보다라 뭐신도 지제 돼야들이 디인도 직전에 수술랑에라 샤거 직전에 제라 샤거 직전에 님도 샤거래 예수수 수부두시기 디네 용거 예외자 내가 싫어 요머 친구도 우승 아니네로
So now there are different schools of thought as to when 80 conceptions dissolve before the appearance of four empties or during the four empties. And as according to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, in his teachings, he says they dissolve before the appearance of white, red, black, and clear lights. And however, as I've just mentioned, there are other sources that explain this different from that. And the difference has to do with difference in the physiology of the practitioner. So people or practitioners at the completion stage end of the tantra, when they undertake their tantric practice, which involves doing this death process meditation, these dissolutions actually occur, not just imagining sincerely or strongly. They actually occur through the power of meditation by channeling the energy into the central channel. So because they have different physiology, for some they think to themselves, oh, they appear before that the conceptions dissolve. They experience dissolution of the 80 indicative conceptions before the appearance of the four empties, and yet for others they seem to dissolve. They think, because it happens to them, and for them dissolution is described to have been dissolved during the appearance of the four empties. So even just as we all are humans, but we all have whilst we have the same human body, there are subtle differences in terms of events that take place at a very subtle level. So what is more beneficial is to do the practices, that meditation before this, and when the time comes for this happen, then you will witness yourself what happens, and what you witness may be just personal to you or to one, and somebody else may experience before, during, or after.
다딜라 나세라 군도 제주 나세라 이제 타라 샤고스레스 군도 송도 바자지고 게 되게요 말에 다 당기 바자에서를 라송아 바자샤이나 그 나와가 둘 샤바지 요로 다디 샤바디 가레스 튜얼링으로
No.
제단디 자주디 라과자 군도 자주 라과지 녜라 팀 아니야 타워지 제일 마팀용기 코란 난세라 타라지 자나 야고도세 군도 디송소 데 진짜 도저리도저 답변데 나라이네 타라 샤베이나 타라 용서래다 단다 남시 코란 타라 슈레용도로
Lare.
군도 자주레 난세 타라시 예비나 아니 라과디 제니 녜리팅 아니 타모디 제 칼레칼레 님도 나외 것을 체외 것을 네 녀도 내 것을 팀도야 두샤이나 따다 두샤고도 하고
No.
근데 지 배제면도 어로지다 군도 제주 코란 난세기 타라지 샤비나 비진다 야가 요래서 왔다
I feel that when I said this, following what I have heard, His Holiness the Dalai Lama observed that it seems more coherent to establish subtlety among the 80 indicatives. And as the question said, the text mentions what appearance occurs after all conceptions have dissolved, only imprint remains. Then, in that case, imagine all 80 indicatives have dissolved, and then the next dissolution is white appearance. White appearance is a very subtle consciousness of a white appearance. Bhakcha, imprints are not consciousness. So how is one going to account for that? Therefore, that said, it makes sense to grade the 80 conceptions in terms of subtlety. The coarser indicative thoughts dissolve first, and the subtle ones later.
Yeah, question?
No, Theodore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your question or?
Well, I just read a little bit
Yeah.
what you're saying, dividing them into different subtleties. It's not in the book, not all, they just don't go all power, all 80 like that. Even they still go the 33, 10, and then the 40.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They all happen before the white appearance, but they all go at different times. You see what I'm saying?
No, they happen different times before the white appearance.
Yeah.
So then, before the dissolution of so they are saying there is subtlety among the 33.
Among the 80. Among the 80.
Yeah, that's what Geshe-la said.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
But all those subtleties all go prior to the white, but they go in stages.
Okay. Then nghe anh chị bây này chế chỉ là anh đã quân đội kéo la thara yor sen tên được chế chúng sao vậy? Anh chế bị thì thoa là anh đã quân đội kéo thara yor vậy thara yor ấy thì này yang anh chị cái thara quân đội kéo cha sang thara yor vậy thì nào kallam bám ha sẽ gọi là 팀 사기를 되는 송도.
알레 지때 제산인데 송구를 대나라 요에 인자데 타직 등여게요 말고라로 노도해요 말이야 뒤뒤 대장보고 권한게 공자들이 찬나는데 지용데 시기요라
네.
신다질이야 라고가 군도 제주 등에 칼레 팀냐 타모디제데 네 나와디 숨주소숨 팀 나와 체외기 쉽지 담바 팀 아니 녀도기 등디 팀 두스도당게야 타모딜라 카두라도당게 셴니 징용고요라 디윤데 콘조가 수수 냠랭게 다네 수수 수부고 도당잖아 근데 잘롱다 근데 도당다 곰고 도당 근데 데 용고요 인자 창마 디나를 찍러 도토 그랬어요 말에서던데
So, I appreciate the question and observation and what you said in the book. And yes, textbooks are seemingly authoritative, but they can be questioned. And what is said in there, we can't take what is mentioned in the text for granted. And so it is, as I've just observed, um, with reference to reading from different sources, that there are these 80 indicative thoughts can dissolve differently to different people, because of the difference of physiology. And it is also possible that they may dissolve. 33 may dissolve with white appearance because they're coarser. The coarser ones dissolve first, and 40 indicative thoughts dissolve during red increased subtle mind, and 7, which is really subtle, they dissolve last. So it can happen. So what's the question?
Can I just say one?
Yeah.
The reason I'm interested in that particular process
Mm-hmm.
because when we're reborn again,
Mm-hmm.
those come back, those imprints on the black, red, and white.
They come back in reverse, or what?
Yeah, they must come back in reverse order. So
Yeah.
then the question would remain then, do they come back at the time of the black, the time of the red, the time of white, or do they start appearing when, after the white appearance occurs in the reverse process?
Okay.
Yeah, that leads to that question, doesn't it?
Tinga de condition ga kimje chi ga sana ani che timrin ko la ani che ta kundu gyauje kanje ta nawa kala ma cheba malo nyeda ma an che ta kundu ta shayung de ra ba lukdo shayung ra ba lukdo shayung de ka na ma nyeto tene ka sam cheba tene kala ba an ta kundu gyauje ani ta kundu gyauje lukdo reverse order shadow ka la ani kundu gyauje nyetop 가서 요새는 nyetop로 되게 떡보 뒤엔 되라와 떡보 뒤엔셔 안 nyetop네 체발려도 떡보 집주셔 너네 그런 나와도 튕겨 떡보 샤그샤고래 야만 군도 겨주디 나와 칼람바 샤베 제라 신에 안텐 군도 겨주샤고래 그래서
데레 샤단데 지바 유지레 마맹엘라 주트데 양엘라 주단데라코 수수페 녜기 닝잠 자세기 다디 조 자롱두단 셰고라
나래
자롱두단 게 림바데라 데윤데네 릭직데 파림 시제 두드야 릭직데 담보 나와가면 샤원 녀도 날람베 제라네 군도 제주사상 두드야 된데 데디 제단 가두 담면데 여베 인자 수 두비엔데 코 녜바게 유지 마레 베진 두스 녜삼데 카셰 녜라 차단 두 카셰 제라 두드야 된데 된데 유지레 팅거라
So then I'm going to use the same argument that when at the time of conception the 80 indicatives appear, and they may appear along with the 33, or the 7, 40, and 33, along with their what do you call empties, okay, subtle appearances, or it could well be that these may appear after the conclusion of the appearance of a white appearance. Why? I stick to the argument of a difference of physiology, and the ovum and white drop difference, and then one's own mind and so on.
anda dirwa tanzu sugo ge simda dan zo zadang long dan zo la dawa yorwa ane sugo dubdan de zadang long dubdan damen da yungu do ro ran zo mi subu damen da dub yungu do khashi ane dizirik do zo kesa we jere subu chik de la mini namshi wa de do wa ta dizirik do zo da be cho nyong da sa wo shwe je ting do
So not only do healthy humans have the same human body, but with the difference. But then what about there are some people what they call conjoined twins, for example, and when they die, or when they, because their physiology is so complexly joined, how could you really say that the dissolution takes exactly the same for both of the conjoined twins and so on? What I'm saying is, it's very, it must be very complex.
지난 단다 단당에 단다디 참바지 간딩 연구 심부로 네 어구던 저 침부쇼라 그런데 냠뇽디 뭐 윤을시디 데벨롭업도 디나라 어디 베제나네 단다 치다 난다 샤지도
long
저 곰잡인데 자롱 곰저 롱마 팀르데 아니 치다 난다 샤다 군도 제주 가야 정말 베제나네 셰브 난시 연구도 시지 디도
Nice.
디자던데
So I have I have an uncle who was a great meditator. One of his friends, another meditator. So he was a great meditator in undertaking this dissolution, practice meditation, and so on. And he wrote in his or rather he stated in his book, when you do dissolution process through the power of meditation while channeling the wind in the central channel, everything every process as is described appear exactly. There's no difference at all. So his own personal experience clearly verified the descriptions and the description process.
아신다도네
Okay, Shinanda. Regarding the 6 constituents for Tantra, required for Tantra, Kishila, I have read that 6 constituents needed for Tantra are human rebirth plus. Nge energy ngag shungchinala, any come to nge come to ngaliki ba the achang changs, titola come to the sa chu me lung, any sa chu me lung za, and tigli jasha. And in class, Nagarjuna and in class, Nagarjuna's verse was given some 6 아니 어디 진대나 가장 계시라게 come to us 아니 사추 매롱 남시 남
나가
말다 come
삼도
라 가사데 남카 남시 송송 서바
네.
여자 딩이게데 which one is correct the come to 랍다니 도스라와 and 사추 매롱 자 틱리 사추 매롱 남카 and consciousness 때 가르
상마리 되고 숨이어야 되라
노스
감 두세야지 봐
네.
상마 되고 그랬어 상마 타니에다가는 되고 그랬어
so both are correct.
단도 단대 뒤가라 단도 뒤 공부를 단다 엄마 렌지 투에나라 봐 기부 감독 대회 실세야 돼 단다 데와 중앙 시간은 나가 남시샤라
네.
당연한도 데라 팔레트에 가보 가마 주바다 말레트에 차단 바고치 죽시하성아
long
단다 뒤나라 아니 자단 틱리체 감시간을 샤성 무슨 상마 수불을 여와서 그 장가 자시 데면레지레미시 상마 되고래 되죠야 말
so what the thing or the 6 constituents the questioner has read whereby it says 6 consciousnesses are earth, water, fire, wind, channels and drop, correct. And Nagarjuna's is also correct for different reason. There he is talking about what a person is composed of in terms of it has ontological basis. What is the ontological basis for designating person? And Yes, yesterday when I gave you six elements, three white from the father, three red from mother, that is also fine.
당은서 축불에 망고도 가.
Aren't we getting richer?
레다고 감축라디 민지레디 툭툭툭 진절라네 자와 이제 존스게 말하고 낭베디 축 칙라딘데 열에다 딘데 거 자야 딘데로 풍풍아서 중앙시 딘데 돼요라고.
No. So it's just that there are different categories of accounting six elements, and each category can have different items, and so if there are, each category is for different purpose, and sometimes items are the same in some and others are different. That is all okay to have different categories with six different of six elements, I feel.
아 딘데 좋으신데. 좋다고.
That 되어들라 등에 계실을 되시는 동안 인주는 계실라 tantric practitioners, they have a tantra to use to do dissolution practice. For people without tantric practice, who at the time of dying nevertheless experience the dissolution process, is it okay to do dissolution visualization as a part of daily death meditation? Well, can
가르나.
Did you understand my question? Okay, so you can support me. Nga nyamne jigal kesel raba. Ane jige kandu takasuri di timrim kemero. Ane jige ta nga ge nyitang nyamle de dene. Ane jige koma yores. Ane jige nga nyamle magusone shini shigores. Shidu kan jurumi yongores. Yongdu kan ta nga ge nyamle ge ane jige ta wangchara zi mabeyene. 아니 지금 치와 먹다 봐봐 치와 녀봐 치와 아니 남자 녀미 집에서 취마다 가면 대 쇼라다 티쇼 몇번째로 땅아 시도 시주가 된데 연구 삼 제배에나 디그를 배웠습니다.
제가 디그래 단단아 단인디 가서 디조직 디셰고 전송으로
No,
나 뒤어디다 트네 베진 뒤어 담아 있으래로
that's my question now.
아니 나 뒤어 뒤어야보다 뒤어다 트네 아니 다다 차고 그러면서 다 기승 가서 치림데 마 robs share
나래.
다디나네 내가 치슈데 가서 아니 류지 풍부팀에 가둘라 아니 루지 옹부팀래야 당 롱남데 거네 대자 구조자면 저다 가서 팅상게 멤베이나 디가둘 시브레라고 알아
나래.
다 제가 디가둘 시메버딩 가서 신고래다 다 디제라 단다 군도 자주 신들 가 디들 또바 자주디지 가네 최외세 샤줄하데도 알아
랑.
다 디제라 남시지 풍부디지 팀이알 하데르다 그거는 소봉 소봉 두시봉 두지봉 풍봉 시디 팀 살아
나래.
다 남시지 풍부디 다 팀줄 하데면서 남시지 풍부라도 군도 자주사 디제 팀줄 하데 디 단다 시요 말했다 디네가 디 당보 디 계좀 쉬어래 디직 생오래스 계좀 직 디네 니워디 이 강라단다 따든데 연구도 다 세슈디 나라고 텐세지도 디 차장을 연구다
나스.
아니 나 텐다 나 세월 마 팀도 있어도 디네가블 다다 디네가블 아니 먼저 다 미디 컨트레스 미디를 다 탑랑 카팅고도 디토르다 계시셔야지 내가 직차고로 그래도 단다 먼저 미패워지게 치름게 시 치름디 겁나 되게요다 검제로 시 치름 된데 연구요 된데 다든데 연구를 상안에 다디 제일응에 검당 림바지 칼렐라고 다디 검잡제 냠네체나 되게요레스로
Loss. So thank you for the question. It is a very nice lead into what I wanted to talk about. And before I talk, let's say this. Of the 8 stages, if you go through the first 4, uh, it is during the dissolution, the fourth dissolution of the compositional, the aggregate of compositional factor, that the body sense power dissolves and the wind dissolves. Wind dissolves. Wind is the last element. Where does it dissolve? Not in the space. For you, wind dissolves into consciousness. And there, it's very important for us to remember that although medically you could be declared, or your other people could be declared, but we need to bear in mind that they are not actually dead as yet. They're dying. They're still dying, because up to this point, the first 4 aggregates have dissolved. Now, from then on, the aggregate of consciousness, with its baggage of 80 indicative thoughts, have to dissolve into deeper levels of dissolution. So that's something that we need to keep in mind. And also, it's important to keep in mind different signs you can see externally in relation to a dying person. For example, when somebody reaches out their hand, then you need to be in control, and then help them, by giving them the right suggestion, what to do, what not to do for them. And now, the question was, is it okay for the non people without tantric initiation to do a dying meditation, death process dissolution meditation? I think it is perfectly fine to do dying meditation in terms of dissolution, thinking to themselves, this has happened, now next is going to be this one, after that this one, and so on. So I will give you a short presentation about that.
다음에 디마셰혼라 단다 디 된다 라고 뉴슈쟁에나네 아니 두지 풍부 내가라 아니 다 류지 옹보다 렉자도서 템도도 알아 다디 제라 가르팀 하야라 사데르 뉴슈쟁에나네 남시 풍부에나네 남시체 계지 두고나네 아니 이 계지체 아니 이싱에나네 준이시사 준이시서로
나제
어디 디제가데 남시 풍부 내가도 숨직 팀이알 하데요 그래서 두 제도다 라원 유지장한테 독승에라 장마라고 차송하러.
나스. So up until the 4th dissolution, the dissolution of aggregate or composition factor. So we know of 25 course items what have dissolved along with the 4 aggregates. Now then we are left with the aggregate of consciousness, and of 24 or of 25 course items, what items are left that will dissolve with consciousness? So they are consciousness, the aggregate of consciousness, and then yigi so mental sense base, mental sense faculty, and of wisdom, it is wisdom of base wisdom, ground wisdom of Dhamma. They are left.
다디 군도 제주디 다드링 랍데나 디가본 다디 제로무칭 링아세드나라 아니 dom지 체제 디 세워요레스로 군도 제주디 마티 페젠다 디 먼저 지매도 야 랍샤나 다들인데 차단 랍데나 투주 단계 되는 망타는 야 단단 가서 라고 냥아디 야보지 충분히나 아니야 지매 고스로 지금 군도 제주도 조직 랍샤비네 야오면로 군도 제주도 배 야첨보로 다 제주 탐바이 되는 똑바단 심기로다 심견장이 야와jan야래도 제도 대대서 각오래샤 투주 튼주 지나라 셰드비야다 다단단 가서 단대 내가라 기술 결혼도 장되어요나 제로머지 이런 세드나라 세우도 오스로
What about Kunto Gyaju, the 80 indicative thoughts? Ideally speaking, it would be really good to present them, but due to lack of time, we are not going to be able to go through them. And if you are really interested to know what they are, they are clearly enumerated and discussed by Lama Tsongkhapa in his Rimwa Selton, the clear lamp on the 5 stages of completion stage. And in future, again, if people want to know in detail more about the 80 indicatives, we have to have another future session. So at the moment, we have more than enough. The 25 items, 25 course items. 25 items are more than enough. We don't want to be overloaded on duty with 80 extra indicative thoughts. So you can tell your mates, I've come back with 25 items, and they are going to be very useful at that. I'm going to be so they are going to be very useful for me. So anyway, don't be too too inspired and to tell your friends you should start doing that meditation now. There's no point. You just say to them you have got some tools and that you are going to use them, and they will say, what tools? And then when are you going to use them? I'm going to use them when I die.
And
in this way, create curiosity, and they'll say, what are they? What they look like? Can you tell me? And they will ask you to talk about. Then seize the chance and share the important information.
Oh yeah. 오늘에 다들 라원양아디 야고지 신 다당고 장가디 신으로와 마치고 숨 쉬죠지 tuk제지 아니 당고 대 당한 유생한테 럽지 신라 다 섬는 레다로 지 리버로 지 라고라 당고 장가디게 대전 가져도 삼다 안 대제 당고 수부문 내가라 아니 nga 팀거도와 nga 팀버디게 삼다 nga 팀버서 삼는 레서데 다 대내가라 치다 갈리기도 나다 갈리기도 수풍부 때문에 다 소외 풍부 때문에 내가라야 nga 팀도고도 nga 가르가르도 다 대나라야 치다 가르도 나다 가르도 아 대제라 두시 풍부랑 nga 팀도고도 야 가르가르 팀고도 치다 가르도 나다 가르도 아니 두지 풍부 내가라 가르 팀고도스나 대내가라 녜가라 태반이다 류지 옹보다 아니 렉자니 팀도고도 뉴인팅보다 담아들라 뉴인팅보다 뉴시자니로 아니 뉴시자니가라 남시 풍부다 아니 이용보다 아니 준이 시접도 딱 뉴스장한테 두스마 사송하대 아디어스 당해로 디제디 삼련나는 독 제제 레비나 다디 데단다 노트북나 하비나 페사르다지메 노트북로니 라마르다
Loss. So I like to again stress the importance of becoming quite conversant with the 24 course items um, that dissolve um, during dying process. And then I also give you an easy way of remembering the 25. There are five, three of five, four, one of four, one of six. And so anyway, it's really good to go through these. For example, when I die, what is the first aggregate that dissolves? It is the form aggregate. And how many things dissolve with it? There are four things that dissolve. So in all, there are five things that dissolve concurrently with the aggregate of form. Okay, what signs? What are specific signs that one can see? What are the specific outer signs one can see for each of these five dissolutions in the first phase, or and then collectively, what is the inner sign experienced only by the dying, and then just become conversant with the items dissolve. And then go to the next aggregate is the dissolution of aggregate of sensation, and then again with it four other things dissolve. In the second phase, five items dissolve, and then okay, what are they? What are the five things that dissolve? What are specific signs that go with that? And do this up to 1, 2, 3. Okay, up to the third one. And then when it comes to the last aggregate before consciousness dissolves is the aggregate of compositional factor. How many things dissolve there? There are 7 things dissolve. There are rectum means tactile sensation, and body, is it body sensation? Yeah, body sensation. So on then in fact there are 7 and in all. So out of 25, how many items have dissolved at the end of the 4th dissolution? So 22. So what now we have 25. Where are the 3? So they dissolve during the dissolution of the during the dissolution of consciousness. There are the aggregate of consciousness, mental sense base or mental faculty, and base wisdom of Dhammatadu. So if you go through this time and again, this is then if they are at your fingertips, that instant knowledge, access to this can be very useful when things actually happen. So let us have a break now here.